Hello everyone, and thanks for joining me. I figured I would try my hand at my first inbox review. Lord knows I've built plenty of models, but I've never done a review for one. So let's start with one great bike as far as I'm concerned. This is the Yamaha YZR-M1. It's the 50th Anniversary Valencia Edition. Number 46. It's a 1/12 scale motorcycle, series number 115. It does come with Cartograph decals, which depicted Rossi's number 46 machine. Also has the accurately reproduced twin-tube engine delta box frame and inline 4-cylinder engine. Front and side fairings can be removed after assembly, and synthetic rubber front and rear tires. I believe that this box, being 50th edition, would be 2005 rider manufacturer team for the world champion MotoGP. Sorry. Obviously, Valentino Rossi. You can see the doctor on there. Once again, Tamiya, excellent box art. Side panels give you the cross-section view of the bike. End panels, give you the view of the bike as well, and another view. And the back side gives you the cross-section views, which are really nice, so you can have a look at what's behind the bike before you even build it. So let's spin her around. This is model kit for Canada Limited, actually. It says right on that sticker there. And let's pop the lid and we'll set that aside. And let's have a look what's in the box. Let's get all these goodies out of the road, and we'll go through them one by one. There's those nice Cartograph decals. What's also cool about Tamiya boxes is that they show you other sets that are available on the inside of the box, which I always thought was pretty cool. So if you're looking for different motorcycles and such to build, they're all right there, including cars, so on and so forth. You can never go wrong buying a Tamiya kit. Alright, let's have a quick look at the callouts. Nice colored sheet for the callout. Markings. What's not used is 30 and 54. No big deal. But great colored markout, just showing you exact decal placement of where all these decals are going to go. Great little addition. And here we have the Cartograph decals, some notorious Tamiya staples in the bag, which I hate, but I'm sure everybody else out there hates them. So I just peel them out of the road, and I take off a little bit of that extra bag, so that way they don't get all hung up when you're trying to put them back and out of the way for safekeeping. So let's have a look and see what we got in here. They are Cartograph decals. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, these decals are going to lay down absolutely beautifully. What a quick look at them there. And then of course we have the infamous tire markings. That's a nice little touch. You get these raised Yamaha decals, which are stick-on pretty much. Beautiful. I'm really looking forward to building this kit. So let's get those put away. let's put them away this way, so that way they're safe in behind the packaging. Always like to keep my decals in this bag until I am ready to use them. That way it keeps them from getting all scratched up, dinged, knocked about while you're building your model. And of course, keep you from losing them. So those go straight into the bottom of the bin. So have a look at the decals. I don't know if you guys want to hear a short history on this, but I believe it's kind of important. If it's important to me, maybe important to you. Who knows? Might be garbage, but here we go. After acquiring hotshot rider Valentino Rossi, whom we all know he's the doctor, Yamaha experienced a resurgence in 2004 and won their first MotoGP rider and team championship since 1992. They were determined to defend these titles in 2005, which marked the 50th anniversary of Yamaha's founding. So this is your 50th anniversary bike for their founding of the 50th year. Also, yet their sights on capturing the manufacturer's title, ending its 4th year in the MotoGP. The YZR-M1 was improved for 2005 and featured a 4-stroke inline 4-cylinder 990cc engine that offered greater top speed and fuel efficiency. A fuel tank with lower center of gravity and a rear suspension with the shock attached to the crankcase. These mass concentration improvements gave the bike optimum balance for enhanced handling and stability. Furthermore, the shock absorbing capability of the bike's frame as well as the engine, braking, and torque control systems were also refined. Valentino Rossi claimed the Riders' Championship with this bike, and it also helped Yamaha win the team and manufacturer championships. Special liveries were applied for 2 races during the season. A yellow with black strobe pattern US intercoloring scheme for the US GP, and a white with red strobe pattern scheme for the Valencia race. This latter livery was featured on Yamaha's factory team bikes from the 1970s to the 1990s, and was initially called chain block pattern, but became known as block pattern or strobe line from the late 1970s. Valentino Rossi rode this specially colored YZR-M1 to 3rd place at Valencia to cap a truly memorable season for Yamaha. Now, I know Tamiya has put out a Valentino Rossi figure, and I am absolutely looking forward to building that. I've just got to get my hands on it. So anyway, let's carry on. So callouts are for Tamiya paints, obviously. You know, all Tamiya paints are pretty much readily available at your local hobby shop. And yeah, we'll carry on from there. You know, beautiful color callouts. I absolutely love Tamiya's art because it's done like an AutoCAD format, so when you're looking for a part, it looks exactly like the picture. And then they're painting callouts, so you know, on this crossover tube you've got YF1, which is your flat black, and X11, which is your chrome silver, and so on and so forth. So X18, like all these callouts are up here, in here. Off to this side you'll see TS numbers. Now these TS numbers are for spray cans, but you can relate them pretty much to your Tamiya bottled paints for airbrushing or brushing by hand. But this pearl white and the bright red, I have found that it's better to buy these and then decant them and then use them in your airbrush to get that better feel. But I mean, hey, if you're a doctor with a spray can, then you carry on with that. Anyway, moving on to the frame. Callouts for the forks, the handles, the brakes, so on and so forth. Attaching the engine into the frame. And then we have putting the rear section onto the bike with the seat pans, side markers, And from the exhaust, we go on to attaching the exhaust to the frame, and then we put the upper seat carrier and everything on at that time too. Moving on, we have the radiator going in. Then we start putting the rear damper assembly, then the swing arm, the chain and the shock. And then shows us how to attach the rear wheels. Rear brake calipers. Shows you that this piece actually snaps into place. That's a nice little touch there. I've done this on another model. You know, and Tamiya screws, you can't beat them the way things go together with their screws. You can't make that fit with glue, and especially on some places where they have screws like the rear suspension, it can actually move. Going on to the front forks and the front wheel assembly with the brake rotors. And then we have how to paint the front brake calipers, putting the brake calipers, front fender together, attaching the front forks, the shifting mechanism, decaling the front fender before attaching. Decals here will go on to A16, and that gives you your rider's control system, giving you your miles per hour, RPM, temperature, so on and so forth. The racing stand. Now the racing stand is one of those things actually that I prefer to build almost off the hop, because once you get this rear done, like once you get to this stage here, you can actually put the stand on to help hold everything up for you. Then we start getting into the tubing. Now what's nice about the Tamiya, they give you your tubing, and the tubing callouts here are the exact size of the tubing that you need to cut, which is great. So I mean, there's no guessing. I mean, it tells you in millimeters how long it's supposed to be. I mean, if you want to hold out a ruler and cut it, then so be it, but you don't need to, because they've already put it there in actual lengths. Then we go on to the upper cowling, the gas tank, painting, decals that need to be applied. Once again, more decals that need to be applied. Side cowlings, once again with decals, colors. And then we move on to attaching the fuel tank on the top. Another hose that would be used from the rear brake to the rear brake caliper. Then we start attaching the side cowls, the front fairing, then the under cowling. And I think that pretty much builds the bike for us. There you go. So a little bit of a, at the back side of it, if you want to get into reading on how to apply decals, then painting the bike, the tire markers, the tire decals. I mean, one thing I can always say, and one thing you should always get when you're doing decals, is microsol and micro set from Microscale Industries. They're just gonna, your Cartograph decals, I mean, are among the best. So you want them to lay down and you want them to sit nice. So use this product and you'll never go wrong. I will try to put a tutorial up within the next week or two on certain little tips and tricks and how to decal and so on and so forth. So let's fold these up and get them out of the road, and let's have a look at the bits and bobs. Top of the kit, what do we get? Let's open her up. Nice little goodie bag which has your tires, your screws, so on and so forth. This one bag you kind of really do not want to lose. So you have all the little small screws and so on and so forth. You have the poly caps that they use to slide into certain pieces. Front and rear tire, absolutely love the way they come. They already come burnished, but they have that center line. So what I like to do is I take my knife and I run my knife along that center line and see how it scrapes that. Then once I've done that, I come along with some 3000 grit sandpaper and just sand that down. And here's all your tubing, and like I said in the instructions, it tells you what sizes to cut to. You will end up with some extra tubing at the end, which is nice. Here's that spring for the rear suspension, and then here's some longer screws and the infamous Tamiya screwdriver for running everything together. So I'm just going to put everything back in that parts bag, I will call it, and I leave the tires out. But what I like to do with this parts bag is I like to give it a fold and just take a little piece of Tamiya masking tape, you know, because it releases so easily, and just put a fold on it. So when you need to open it up, just pop it open, get out what you need, put it back together again, and you most likely won't lose those little bits and bobs. So let's get that out of the way, and let's get into the next section. So they stapled the front cowling to that bag. I don't know why. Tamiya and their staples, absolutely hate them. I like to keep body panels in plastic until I'm ready for them. But here's the front cowling. Front cowling looks actually really good. No ejector pin marks. The grooves and running, everything. We've got a little bit of line that we need to sand down here. Not much. Other than that, detailing is absolutely wonderful. The raised, won't say rivets, but the raised screw lines, I guess, are there. So I'm just going to pop that in the bag for now, and we'll get that out of the way. Let's have a look at our next bag, which I call the silver bag, and the silver bag normally contains all the goodies for the engine, the brakes, the frame, the exhaust. So everything's on there. Let's get these bags out of the way. And here we have absolutely spectacular. I mean, just the detail that's in a Tamiya kit is second to none. Nice little tip and trick I'll show you maybe down the road is how to drill out these rotors, so that way they look almost like a photo etch part. I mean, nothing beats photo etch for sure. I mean, the photo etch upgrade parts you can get for these Tamiya kits are absolutely outstanding. Really going through all of this, I don't see a lot of flash. Actually, I don't really see much flash at all. We've got a little bit running along the fork here, and you'll always find that on rounded parts, especially if they're molded one piece. So yeah, everything looks good there. Radiator, your block covers, your exhaust, your frame sides, engine side. Yeah, everything's on here. Front forks molded in silver, so easy to find. I like this kit is pretty much color coded, so you can find all your parts pretty easily. Going to put that one away, and we'll move on to the next bag. The next bag is all your body panels. So once again, like I said before, I like to keep my body panels in their bags. So we'll keep that bag as it is, and we'll try very hard to not put a bunch of of holes in that bag, so that way we can pull it out. And here's the body panels. Looking over them, absolutely fantastic. Just have great shine, not a lot of mold release on it at all. The fenders where they go together are going to be absolutely perfect. The two halves of the fuel tank and your side cowlings, your lower cowl, your seat, your side fairings, rear fairings I mean. Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. No flash. Ejector pin marks, does have them of course, but they're not going to be in a spot where you're going to see them at all. So I mean, you've got like ejector pin marks in the interior of the front fender. You'll never see it once the wheel is in place. Same with the cowlings. I mean, they've got little ejector pin marks. I mean, you can't get away from them. But once again, they're in the right place because you'll never see them. Let's move on to the next baggie here, and we'll call it the black bag. Why not? All the parts are black. Let's call it the black bag. So in the black bag, black parts, we have more pieces of the frame. So that'd be the front frame, holds the engine. Once again, everything molded beautifully. Like, I don't know if you can see the detail in the handlebars and the handle grips, the chain, absolutely wonderful. I mean, if you're a magician with an airbrush, I mean, you could tape that off and be absolutely 100%. I can hand brush these links so that they look like they're supposed to look. Of course, comes with the Brembo brakes. All the racing components are on this. I'll flip that over. Once again, ejector pin marks are out of the way, nowhere where you're going to see them. Absolutely, once again, beautiful Tamiya kit. Looking forward to building this one, as I am a fan of the Doctor. So I like to build bikes that have to relate to him. So thank you for watching. Oh, sorry, one more thing. I guess we got the windshield. So the windshield's in the bag. I'm gonna leave it in the bag because, as you can see, it's a windshield. Big deal, right? For the size of the windshield it is, which is gonna snap into that cowling, and it fits great, as all Tamiya stuff does. I figured, you know, why not do a Tamiya bike for my first kit review, because it's actually my favorite models to build are Tamiya motorcycles, specifically racing bikes. To give you an example, I mean, this one's probably got dust all over heck, but this is the Repsol racing bike. This is one of the firsts I actually ever did. I had a hard time laying down the decals over curves, but you know, over time you learn how to deal with that and how to make it better. And yeah, one of my favorite bikes because it was one of my firsts. You know, I built this model I think 5 years ago. You know, there's one part I didn't even paint on it, you know, and I'll actually get back to that. It's also pretty much one of my first, I got my first airbrush when I did this bike as well, so that's, I needed it to get the rims the color that they are. But, you know, as fit and finish goes, I mean, once again, Tamiya bike, absolutely fantastic, absolutely love it. Can't wait to build more. I do have more, but they're not readily available. They're in a cabinet, or I have given them away as presents. So thank you for watching the video. Give us a like, thumbs up.